Today is the 9th of September 2021, also known as Are You OK Day. Are You OK is a suicide prevention organization that encourages people to stay in touch with their loved ones, to check in with them, and to prevent any harmful effects that come from the aspect of mental health. The whole premise of this day is to encourage people to invest more time in their personal relationships with the people that they care about. 8 people take their life every day in Australia. 89% of people know someone who has made a suicide attempt. These statistics are pretty full on, and it makes you realize the drastic implications that come with mental health. As someone who has gone through depression and anxiety, I feel like these days are so crucial. The problem is that we are all actors in this metaphorical stage we call life. This is evident in the famous book by Erving Goffman, The Presentation of Self in Everyday Life, in which Goffman states a very interesting theory. Hoffman calls this a dramaturgical process, in which he dissects it into 2 further components. First being front stage, the part of ourselves that we present to everyone. Acting in a certain way that can get certain impressions from other people, or acting in a way that the environment that we inhabit asks us to. And also there's a backstage, the back region if you want to call it. The place where we are our realest selves, the place that no one is watching and we can kind of let loose and be the true person that we really are. Too many people are wearing the front stage mask excessively. We know we are constantly being watched by certain people in our life, so we act a certain way to get those impressions. This is fine, everyone does this, I do this. I mean, you kind of have to, especially if you're in a professional environment that asks you to behave a certain way. Although I really think the backstage is something that we really struggle to show to other people in our life. This is because the backstage of ourselves actually highlights our deepest insecurities, our flaws, the things that's wrong with us, things that people don't like admitting to the other people. The audience. What I'm trying to say, and I'm trying to connect this excellent theory that Goffman presents to us with the aspect of mental health. They feel worried, depressed, suicidal, so much so in their backstage that they don't show it when it comes to the front stage because they're always trying to get a certain impression from the people that they come in contact with. Days like Are You OK Day are so important because I feel like the backstage aspect of yourself should come to the front. We are so used to showing the best versions of ourselves that we think that the backstage somehow is not important. And this trend is actually more common towards men, as being the same gender. I can actually vouch for this. And from my own personal experience, I feel like in the past I have felt vulnerable talking about my mental health because I automatically used to connect it to feeling weak or feeling not strong. I guess there's also a judgment factor involved with males, especially when they're talking to their male friends. Coming back to the statistic that I presented before, 75% of those people who take their own life are male. Are You OK is a great day, but I also feel that we shouldn't just rely on days like this to ask these kinds of questions. If you're watching this video, who do you think you should ask that question to? And I can say this from personal experience again, that suppressing a thought is way worse than actually talking to someone about it. Just bottling everything in actually makes it way worse, and it comes out in different forms that aren't healthy. People who suffer with mental health struggle to talk about their mental health. Talking to someone about how you feel is actually gonna make you feel way better. And I know there's this whole judgment factor involved, just like I said with males before, but I really think from experience that it can prevent a lot of harm. The 4 steps of ask, listen, encourage action, and check in is an excellent structure. I'll put in the link in my description. It's actually from the Are You OK website. I've tested it before and it works really well. We are all actors wearing a certain mask in society, and that's fine because that's just human nature. That's how we humans present ourselves in the front stage. But I feel like the realest version of ourselves, the backstage, when feelings like depression, suicidal thoughts, anxiety are there, we try our best to conceal it and just leave it in the backstage. And this is where the problem arises. We need to talk about mental health. We need to bring that backstage aspect to the front. It's okay to feel anxious. It's okay to feel depressed. And I know there's this huge stigma with males especially, or the stereotype with males not talking about their mental health, because I know I've done it before as well in the past. And I still do it sometimes. Talking about mental health doesn't make you weak, but on the contrary, it actually makes you strong. It's okay to talk about mental health with the audience you surround yourself with in this play we call life.